Hello everyone, welcome to Ackerman Recap. Today, I will join everyone in exploring the incredibly intense battle between the two Hanma father and son in Baki, son of Ogre. As a fan of the martial arts action genre in general, and the Baki series in particular, you must have been greatly impressed by the showdown between Yujiro and Baki in the manga. This climactic battle has been adapted into an anime and is set to premiere on August 24th. So, what makes this battle so exciting? Join Ackerman Recap to find out together. 1. Introduction to the battle. Throughout the Baki series, the Hanma father and son are known to possess astonishing strength. Baki holds a deep grudge against his father, primarily because of his direct involvement in the murder of Emi Akazawa, Baki's mother, which you can find detailed in the Baki Grappler arc. After a defeated battle from his childhood, where he was struck by his father's fist and couldn't move, Baki swore that someday he would seek revenge against his father and continued to train relentlessly. 5 years passed, and finally the father and son engaged in a battle, with the victor being declared. 2. Summary of the fierce battle between Baki and Yujiro. Hanma Baki, the young champion of the underground arena after years of relentless training, believed he was strong enough to stand against his father. Due to the fame and power of both individuals, the battle garnered immense attention from numerous journalists, and even heads of states took notice. Hundreds of thousands of people crowded the streets to witness the fight between the father and son. After being invited by his son, Baki, Yujiro joined him for a simple meal at Baki's home. The two engaged in a conversation about various aspects of life. Yujiro reciprocated by inviting Baki to a high-end restaurant for dinner. It was the first time Baki experienced such luxury. Despite both father and son having a seemingly peaceful moment, it was merely the calm before the storm. Right after that, Baki asked why Yujiro had killed his mother, and Yujiro flew into a rage. Yujiro struck Baki through the wall, then grabbed his head and shattered the glass door of the restaurant. The two father and son then plunged freely from the tall building, wrecking a car in the process. Upon impact with the ground, Baki lay almost unconscious, while Yujiro showed no signs of being affected. Baki continued to attack his father relentlessly, but it seemed as if his blows were futile. His strikes were like hitting an immense, unyielding rock. After failing to land a hit, Baki was even slapped several meters away by Yujiro. Seeing his son lying there, Yujiro didn't relent. Instead, he added a gesture of affection by gently holding Baki's cheek. Looking at Baki's expression, it's evident that it must have been excruciating. Just as he had the chance to savor a cherished slap and an endearing cheek pinch, Baki was immediately subjected to another taste, this time of Yujiro's formidable technique. This technique allowed Yujiro to use his arm like a whip, enabling him to deliver powerful strikes to impact Baki. The technique was potent enough to cause pain, even to someone with a continuously conditioned body like Baki Hanma. Baki screamed in agony on the ground. Baki quickly copied the technique and unleashed it on his father. When hit by this attack, Yujiro had to leap up, letting out a painful yell, but he didn't show it to Baki. Instead, Yujiro strained all his muscles to suppress the sensation of pain. However, due to Yujiro's consistently tense and fierce expression, Baki mistakenly believed that he didn't feel the pain. But in reality, it was extremely agonizing for him. From then until now, Baki's attacks had all been blocked by Yujiro. Yujiro becoming frustrated. Hearing this, Baki immediately charged towards his father to throw a punch, but Yujiro effortlessly countered by lifting Baki and throwing him through the wall. Despite enduring countless attacks from Baki, the battle seemed to tilt in Yujiro's favor as he maintained control. It cannot be denied that Baki is incredibly strong, yet his attacks still didn't truly affect Yujiro. Baki learned an intriguing skill from insects, achieving maximum speed upon initiating movement. He rushed forward at an incredible speed, only to be thwarted by his father. Baki is putting in tremendous effort to defeat the formidable opponent in front of him. He delivers strikes so fast that even ordinary people can't perceive them. He unleashes 3 consecutive blows, with only the image of him flying forward and then pulling back visible. Are these rapid attacks effective? Indeed they are. They injure Yujiro and catch him off guard, but they still aren't enough. Yujiro even stops several times to give Baki time to recover and points out mistakes in his fighting approach. Despite being battered, Baki doesn't give up, but rises to continue the fight. He employs all his strongest techniques to confront Yujiro. notably the technique that mimics dinosaurs, a skill that even amazed Pickle. His technique pushes Yujiro into an elevated state, activating the demon face on his back. Both father and son launch attacks at each other, exchanging blows with their respective techniques. Pickle can sense the immense power of the two as they engage in combat. Baki doesn't want Pickle to interfere in this fight and rushes to punch him in the face, causing him to lose his precious fang. Pickle understands the situation and sits down to observe the two. Every technique that Baki executes, Yujiro effortlessly replicates, even enhancing their impact. The two engage in a standoff, poised like skilled swordsmen preparing to draw their swords. Yujiro initiates an attack, but Baki manages to evade, astonishing Yujiro. Baki follows up with a swift kick, quickly bringing his father to the ground. Yujiro tries to break free, but Baki tightens his grip even more. Suddenly, Yujiro raises his hand and delivers a powerful punch to the ground, propelling Baki away from him. However, it appears that up until now, the task of defeating Yujiro is incredibly challenging for Baki. Baki has had to admit that Yujiro's strength is monstrously overwhelming. Just when Baki is at his most disheartened, his grandfather appears as a spirit and encourages his grandson. Yujiro, upon seeing the image of his father, is profoundly surprised. After receiving guidance from his grandfather about the terrifying technique, despite being thrown and tossed around, Baki manages to maintain consciousness. Even in the midst of being thrown onto a car by his father, Baki finds enough time to craft a toy to gift his father. And finally, after countless efforts, Baki is able to execute a relentless combo attack that Yujiro cannot counter, leading him to be lying on the ground in defeat. Even if he gets up immediately, Yujiro is still struck by Baki's punch, a blow so powerful that it makes him feel a numbing pain. It's so potent that it lets him feel a pain he had endured for a long time, now resurfacing. It can be said that Baki is the only one who could push a battle with Yujiro this far. Both father and son engage in an intense fight, neither giving way nor retreating. Yujiro embraces Baki as he once did with Baki's mother, and Baki lies unconscious on the ground. Despite being brought to his limits by his father, Baki's fighting spirit remains strong. The battle concludes as the two sit down to have an imaginary soup together, sharing their thoughts. After this fight, Yujiro acknowledges Baki as his new adversary, and from now on, no selfish creature will be recognized as the strongest being on the planet. Meanwhile, Baki admits that he truly lost this battle, something he cannot argue against. 3. Impressions of the battle. Both father and son fought with all they had, pushing each other to their limits. In the battle, a clear aspect emerged. Yujiro Hanma didn't exert his full strength right from the start. Instead, he consistently provoked Baki to attack him. Regardless of how he was attacked, he could instantly rise again. The blows from the underground arena champion seemed to inflict no overly serious injuries on him. In this battle, a noticeable contrast arose between the strength and endurance of the two fighters, particularly evident in the number of wounds and bruises each sustained. Upper jawbone, lower jawbone, hyoid bone, chin bone, and numerous other bones were broken. The nose bone was sunken in, teeth were shattered, gums were injured, and the entire body was covered in bruises. The battle showcased a stark difference in both their power and resilience. And what about Yujiro? He emerged virtually unscathed from the battle. At most, he suffered minor abrasions and a little bloodshed. This highlighted the disparity in their abilities and physical conditions. It can be said that based on the events, initially Yujiro was merely toying with his son. However, later on, in a fleeting moment, Baki compelled Yujiro to take the fight seriously. Baki is the one who has pushed the furthest in a battle against Yujiro. Even powerful martial artists like Kai Okaku or Doppo Orochi couldn't bring the intensity of combat to this level. Thank you for following along. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel to catch the latest videos from me.